and you will see a lot of SpongeBob references throughout our time together. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is either or Randy Chavez. I am coming at you today with a live stream with All Dolled Up representing the Sharpie community. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smash that super thanks button down below, super chats as well. Hey, All Dolled Up, how you doing?
I'm good, Randy. How are you? Good morning. Good morning.
I'm doing all right. So,
It's Friday. I'm excited for the weekend.
heck yeah. What are you doing this weekend?
Well, let's see. Our kids keep us busy. We have 4 kids, so we have softball. We have two events for 2 of our teenagers separately. So I don't know. I'm like a glorified free Uber driver, taxi. Just kid stuff. And it's funny because like sometimes you can't tell the difference between Monday and Saturday. The days kind of just roll together, but I'm still I always still get excited for the weekend. It's still busy, but it's
I feel
nice.
you.
Nice.
There was a buddy of mine that I worked with back in the day, and he said that like kids are great from like up until they're like 12, and then they kind of suck until they're like in college because from like from like 12 on, like in the teenage years, like they just see me as an ATM or an Uber. Like, Dad, can you take me here? Dad, can I have $20? Dad, I want Roblox or Robux. I was like,
Robux, yeah, or Fortnite V-Bucks, is it V-Bucks? Yeah.
yeah,
No, yeah, we're going through that now because our kids are 11, 13, 14, 15. So
there
yeah,
you,
I'm right there. I'm right there
yeah,
in the prime. Um, and I thought when they were littler, it was like, oh, like the 2, 3, 4, like, oh, that's so hard. But I would say that right now it's challenging because they're growing and changing and they all have different personalities and it's a lot. They all like different things and but it's fun. I'm trying to enjoy it and you know, we'll
yeah.
survive, I think.
I, I've always been because I have like no patience and like I feel like I have a decent amount of empathy, but I have like no self control. So I'd be like yelling at them 1 minute and then be like, "Come on, let's get pizza and ice cream the next minute," and then I'd just be a horrible dad. But it came up in my memories on my Facebook memories like 6 years ago. I was in Germany with a couple of friends, and it happened to be like Stranger Things was on, like the new season of Stranger Things. So we were watching that,
Okay.
and I was just like, and I got really drunk, and I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind having like 3 boys to just like play Legos with and Pokemon and like take them to see Star Wars movies. That sounds fun. And then I sobered up the next morning, and I realized I posted that. I was like, hey guys, sorry, I'm back. I'm back to being not wanting to do kids again because that seems very hard. It seems
It's it's rewarding. I don't know. So I'm gonna say you don't have kids, right, Randy? Hi, good
no.
morning,
I
Chase.
I
No,
hope
yeah,
not.
no kid. Maybe,
I mean,
maybe.
there might be one or two out there. I've had a very long career of, mm,
Oh,
but
yes, they keep you on your toes, and it's challenging, and it's hard, and it's also like the most rewarding thing ever. So, um, yeah,
there,
I can see how you could see it that way though, because it's just true because you just said that would make you a bad dad, but I do that exact same thing. I'm like a pushover. Like I'll get so mad and frustrated at, get in the car, everyone's running to the car. Did you brush your teeth? My son's
uh,
like, "No." And I'm like, "Get in the car or get in the house, brush your teeth. Now you're late for school." And then it's like, "Oh, hey, you guys wanna go see this movie tonight?" I'm terrible. I'm a terrible pushover, and they always say, "You threaten us, but then you never do it." Like, oh, I'm guilty. Guilty as charged, but
uh,
yeah.
there's an episode of Scrubs. I think it's like it's in the first season where have you ever seen Scrubs?
No. No.
So it's great. It's so good.
It's the
Anyway,
doctors, right? They're like students or med students?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a
okay.
teaching hospital at Sacred Heart, and like one of the main characters, JD, is like his first day. He's like, "Oh God, I don't know anything. I don't remember anything. I'm supposed to be a doctor." And then this one girl, Carla, who's been a nurse there for like a long time, it's like, "It's okay. Carla will take care of you. This is what we do. Here's how we do it." And basically, the new doctors are paired up with like the veteran nurses, and they kind of guide them through just the ebbs and flows of the hospitals and the ships, and until the docs get like comfortable enough. And there's an episode later in the season where JD references this point. It's like, there's this really fragile point in every doctor and nurse's relationship where the doctor's finally comfortable enough to tell the nurse that, like, hey, this is wrong, or like, hey, and kind of goes against the nurse's advice because of their like doctor training that's finally kicking in. And for him, it passed pretty smoothly. Um, that just reminds me of like when you have kids. Like, I feel like you're always bringing them information about just like the world, and you're always telling them about, this actor in this movie, and you're giving them these references. But at some point, the kids will make these pop culture references that suddenly you don't get. Like, did you know what a skibbity toilet was before the kids? Like, who brought that
No.
to who?
I know TikTok, it's been rough. They say words I have no clue what the hell they mean. Or they're words that we used to use,
Hmm.
right? And it has a different meaning now, and I don't know
Oh,
that. And then they're
like
like,
gas.
"Mom, that's not what that means." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And I'm like, "No, that's what that means." "No, Mom, that's not what that means." And, um,
Wait, give
and
us
their
examples.
intention into let me think of one. I just the other day it'll come to me. It'll come to me because it was the
Okay.
car ride to school, and it was my 11-year-old daughter, and I said something, and she's like, "Was it classy?" It was something, it'll come back, it'll come to me, it'll
Okay.
come
All
to
right.
me, and I was like, "Adelie, that's not what that means," and, "Meow." And, anyway, so we were going back and forth, and I said, words when mom was in school, or, like, even in high school, the late '90s, like, that's what that meant, and they just, but yeah,
Yeah.
the skibbity, or, my son in the gaming, like, when he's in there gaming, and he plays this game called Rust, and he's
Okay.
really, really into it, and they'll be talking to each other, and it's, like, foreign. I'm like, "Well," it just makes dad and I laugh, because 'cause I'm like, "What the hell are they like, they're talking to each other and chat and all that stuff." It's just, like, the slang words, they drive me actually crazy, but
Oh, I'm so curious now because I'm on TikTok all the time, and I'd like to think that I kept up with most of the slang words through like the early 2020s, I think. But then now I find myself at least once a week being like, okay, and thankfully for TikTok, like, what's it in the blue letters that they have here, like, what's a dot dot dot, and then you click on it, and you have to go through a few videos, but eventually you kind of get the gist of what that word means. I never try too hard to try to make it part of my vernacular, but just the fact that I kind of know. Like,
oh,
back in the day, it was like, what was that called? Where you looked up the word Urban Dictionary.
Urban
Um,
Dictionary, yeah.
but I've tried it. Urban Dictionary has not kept up with like the today's slang, because a lot of words that I try to look up on that like aren't on Urban Dictionary, or they are, but it's
Mhm.
not what it means. Um, so yeah, TikTok is like the only thing. So thank God they didn't take away TikTok. Um,
I don't know, I mean, it was like for a moment, I was kind of, like, excited, and then it was back within hours, right? It came right back, but, the kids, I definitely think their attention span is very short. I think there are things that are, um like, I don't know what we didn't have that. We just didn't have that. And now, like, even my daughter, like, her attention span is very short. And I'm like, but they're used to like these very quick, stimulating and engaging, and it's 10 to 15 seconds or whatever, and then they're on to the next thing. And
yeah.
I think it's different, like with like the boys though too. Like my son and the gaming and all of his Xbox friends and those communities, they use a set of words, and then the girls like they do the get ready with me. Like, so this is
Oh
what my
yeah,
daughter
I hate those videos.
yeah, and then I have to buy then my daughter wants, like, a $60 face cream from the store, and I'm like, "Do you understand that those influencers are getting paid to do a video getting ready with that cream?
Yeah.
It is not gonna make your face look like that tomorrow," and it's just funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a battle, but, we we just have full trust, like, in our household. We don't have any, we're not very strict on it, but, like, they know, like, there's certain lines, like videos, if it pops up and it's very vulgar or, there's some crazy stuff out there.
Yeah.
They'll just, if they're around mom and dad, they'll move past it, right? Like,
I'm glad you recognize when they're around mom and dad, then
yeah.
they do that, because obviously when not, like, "Ooh, what's this?" Or they
Mhm.
bookmark it and save it for later, like, "Huh, I'll put this in, I'll just like it and scroll past real quick, and then I'll go back to my likes, and I'll." Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
and maybe people would judge us for it, but I do have to say, like, we our kids know we trust them 100% until they give us a reason not to. So we haven't
Okay.
limited them ever, but
Oh, so
if
nice.
something comes of it or there is a negative thing associated with something they're watching or doing, um, yeah, I my son did try to light something on fire, and we took away TikTok for a month because he had seen a video and he
So
was
what
trying to
what did
make
you try to
something.
light on fire? Was it just like a piece of paper, or was it like
Yeah, it was like if you mix this with something and light it, it exploded, and I walked in the kitchen and we were like, "What the hell are you doing?"
he
And
did it
then
in the kitchen?
yeah, and he had seen a video, and, we were like, "Okay, no." Like, okay, so there are things on TikTok, and this was a couple years ago, I think now. He's almost 15 now, but, he was, like, 13, and we were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, see, yeah, this isn't, what you see on here, yeah, you're not gonna be doing that." And so he lost TikTok for a month, but he
Damn, a
hasn't done
month.
anything since, right? He's not
Okay,
trying to
yeah.
make things out in the garage,
I
but
I
they
mean, I would
do.
so one, I would have to okay, if I and obviously this would get, like, CPS called to me or whatever, but I would just, like, be like, "Are you fucking stupid?" And then I'd be like, "We don't do that
What'd you
inside,
do?
we can do it outside." And then I'll proceed to do it with them outside, under adult supervision. Um, and then, yeah, a month without TikTok, like, that goes he probably missed out on so many references, because, like, there are s there's
Maybe.
yeah, there are so many things that I remember in Kuwait in 2016, we had this happened, like, twice, where we had, like, no internet for a few days because, like, something happened and they had to turn off internet for, like, the country. And I remember one time, you remember the lady with the Chewbacca mask? Where she was like she would laugh, and every
Was
time
so
she would
funny. Yes, 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 I remember it. Okay, it went viral for sure because I remember that.
yeah, so
Mhm.
I get back, like, on the internet, and people are just like, "Oh, they're just talking about that, like, "What is this lady Chewbacca mask?" And then another one was, this was a Tumblr one, this was, like, deep internet. It was, "It's not about the" like, whatever we're talking about, like, we're talking about waffles, "It's not about the waffles, it's about the lies." Or, "It's not about the alcohol, it's about the lies." Like, that just became a thing. So did shoving your breadsticks in your purse. Like, I have to go shove but yeah, like, even just, like, a couple of days, you'll, like, miss something, especially now with, like, in crypto, if you're reporting on something 48 hours ago, it's, like, old.
Yeah, it's so funny because I wouldn't consider myself, like, old school, but that's, like, with, say you wanna, like, share a post or have your raid team raid something on X. Um, I'll find something from, like, 18 hours ago, and they're like, "No, you don't rate that, like, it's old news," and like, you have to get it within a minute and a half, and I'm
Yeah,
like, "It's still interesting, like, I still think everyone should comment on it." I don't mind sharing stuff from 2 days ago if it's cool, but I guess
yeah,
that's, like, not the thing you're supposed to do, but yeah, right, it's everything turns old news really quick, and that's I don't know, I guess there's a little adjustment there for me, but, I
yeah.
try to get them as soon as I can. Okay, okay. But now wait, I have a question. If you did have kids, would you censor the TikTok? If you did,
Um, I guess I
or
mean,
the social media, I guess, in general? Like, is there
this is hard because social media wasn't really around when I guess we had, like, MySpace, so we had, like, we had AIM, so I guess the difference is that at least I'm kind of aware of what's out there, like, if there's, like certain
Mhm.
trends are fine, like, have you seen the trend where it's like this Muppet, and then it's all these like 20 to like 30-year-old like women talking about the absolute unhinged shit they did when they were teenagers. And
No, I haven't seen this.
oh,
No.
okay. Oh, hang on.
Interesting.
Let me just show like an example real quick. Let me pause
Okay.
this. Let me go to my, that'll be an old repost because it's going way back. It's just like this. It's this Muppet. As I think of the time when my
Okay,
little
okay.
13-year-old as yeah got upset. Okay, so that's the things like that are okay, but when there are really stupid trends or stuff that's dangerous, I might be like, hey, I have a conversation with them. But I mean, I was on AOL Instant Messenger when I was like 9, playing like Slingo. But then you get in these like chat rooms, and thankfully, there were I never got like credited or
Mhm.
predate like
Mhm.
like a victim of anything. Um, but then also when you're like 13 and you want to like Google something on like the family computer, and you're Googling stuff that I'm surprised like the FBI never like went after like like came and knocked on the door and be like, hey, you're Googling some weird shit. Um, so
Hmm.
I guess that as long as I'm cognizant of the trends going on, I mean, what age are you allowed? Were the kids allowed to have like TikTok? Like what age were they
Like
allowed
11,
to?
like 10, 11. Yeah. I mean, it didn't really get as popular, I guess, when they were
Yeah,
younger, no, but then, I mean, the first thing was just asking for the phone, right? Um,
yeah.
but
I
then
imagine
from
they
the
get
phone
phones at what, like 8 years old now,
yeah,
7.
7,
Yeah.
8. For me,
Um.
which was fine because it's funny, I lived in Finland in, 2000, and,
Yeah.
I had a host family there, and, my little sister was 5 the family I lived with, my little host sister, and she was 5, and she had her Nokia 5160, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," I was 18 and I had just gotten my first phone. But in Finland, right, where Nokia's from, like, all the little kids had phones, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is wild." But, yeah, our kids all, like, by 7, 8, it started with, like, a VTech, like, the fake little watch, like the Play Watch, and then they had our youngest daughter had, like, a Play cell phone, like, it wasn't, like, connected to anything, but she just wanted a phone, and, now they
Yeah.
all have their own phones, and it's a gazillion dollars a month, but, um, for us, it's good. I know where my kids are at all times, I can see what they do, there's apps for everything, I love having
Yeah.
it, right?
So
And they
that
can
that's
see where I'm at too.
so another. Oh, yeah, yeah, dangerous. So that's another thing I want to talk about. There's well, I'll finish answering that question first, and then I'll get on to that. There's this girl that I dated recently. We dated for a few months, and she was a young mom. She had her first kid at 18, and so she's got like a bunch of kids, and they're some of them are all like her first kid is 18 now, and the other ones are like 16, 14, and then yeah, she has two littler, smaller ones, and like they're like on like Discord, which is fine, I think most of the time, but
Mhm.
um, there was this weird dude that kind of like was friends with her brother, so like the kid's like uncle, and because they
Okay.
had all like hung out like group cosplay, they went to like this con together, like um they were in this like kind of like family or group Discord, which is fine. But then he just kind of messaged her like outside of that, and I thought that was one, just kind of a red flag popped up. And I feel like as long as I talk to my kids about this, like, hey, group chats are one thing where you have people of all ages in there, and that can be like if they're like 7, I imagine all the kids will be like they're in like 7, maybe like 10 if
Mhm.
someone has an old bro, like whatever it is. But like if there's like I'd have to have that conversation where like if any like adult that's like way older like private messages you, that just know that that person is probably, it's just not a good sign. And I'm not saying that that person is like horrible or anything, but it's just strange,
100%.
and
Mhm.
let me know. But I feel like as long as I don't lose touch with the new things that are going on, it's probably be okay. But the other thing I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you about was there's a couple of my friends, these are in New York, where their kids they're kind of like ditching the phones because their their phones were like in their faces like all their lives. Like they're from when they were like toddlers, the parents were like taking pictures of them, doing whatever, posting on the internet, and they kind of hate it. And because, like you said, there's apps to track where your kids are, the kids will be like, let's just leave the phones at home. This way parents can't track us. And not that they're doing anything like horrible. I mean, they're probably drinking whatever, 15, 16.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
just the fact that like I don't know, I feel like the nanny state, I mean, I don't want to say call it a nanny state, being protective and knowing where your kids are great. Like they had to make that commercial years ago. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Because parents
Mhm.
back in the day just did not give a fudge. Um, so obviously it's good, but I think that pendulum swung like a little too far to the other side where now there's like no secrets like ever. And I feel like people should have some secrets. Obviously not bad ones, but do you ever have your kids do that where they're like, "Oh, I forgot my phone and that's why I couldn't you didn't know where I was," or something like that?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, not yet. I hope not. I don't know. I so even for me though, like, what do they call it? A helicopter mom? Is that like nanny
Mm.
state? Is that kind of the same thing, the helicopter
Yeah,
mom?
yeah, I guess helicopter, yeah.
Um, yeah, like I'll have to keep myself off of it because I'm just always like worried, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm on it. Like they probably don't think about it, and then I'm like, okay, oh they're there, oh they're there, and so like that could like take over my thought, and so I'm like, oh
Yeah.
I need to control myself and just trust them, right? Um, our kids really they're not yet at the stage, or we haven't crossed that path where they like want they care about it. They don't care right now. They don't care that
Yeah.
we know where they are or anything like that. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, that might just
But
be the new normal where the kids are just like, "Oh, yeah, parents always know where we are." It's like, can't get away from it. Like, if they're not exposed to, like or maybe hopefully they're not watching this, and they're just like, "Oh, we could do that? We can leave our phones
Mhm.
here?" Hopefully they don't yeah, they don't, learn. But yeah, that gets hard with, like,
I
because
mean,
they're becoming
yeah.
people, like, outside influences, and it's like, yeah, sometimes you get some bad influences as well. Um, that gets rough. But anyway, speaking of the news, and
Yeah.
so they had a Watcher Guru had just posted that, and it was what we were talking about before. President Trump says India has agreed to cut tariffs way down. And if I were to go over like the tariff news from like yesterday, and it's just like, oh, hey, any new tariff that Canada puts on the U.S. will respond like in kind in that same amount. And suddenly it's like, if you read that just from like 18 hours ago, um, you think like, oh man, tariffs bad. This is why the market's going down. But then you have like some really positive stuff that just came out, like, hey, certain tariffs are going down. It's hard to tell with these cycles, like why stuff is going down. Obviously, you think a lot of manipulation a lot of the times. Big whales trying to liquidate longs. How has Sharby held up in this massive volatility that we've had the last few months?
Surprisingly well. It's funny, we just someone shared a image of like the top 100 altcoins this morning in our BBC chat, and it was all red. And I think the overall sentiment, overall we've held up really well. I mean, if you like, I think a few weeks ago our chart looked greater than the Soul chart. It was funny, like we were just comparing charts. Um, but I think that is a reflection of the last 2 years, right? Of our holders. We have a really strong base. Um, and what Sharby is like, and so it's exciting for us. Like, I mean, the massacre that's happened the last few weeks, a lot of our community have come in and they're just like, thank God for my Sharby, right? Like we've held up really well. And that was really exciting to hear and to see, because like they're all just coming in like so happy they have their Sharby. Um And so it hasn't been as brutal for us, and I mean, and you can see that if you go look at our chart and compare in comparison. Um, I also feel like, uh, for me, everything like this has to happen before it gets really good. Like me, just personally, my own opinion, like I feel like this is just setting us up um for a great bull run. And
Yeah.
so things always get worse before they get better. The sentiment that you can feel. So if you're on X daily or in your chat or in the Telegram chats, we're all in different projects or whatever. It's been so depressing. Like, it's just you feel the energy, right? It's kinda, like, sucked it's just, like, all sucked out, and people are quiet, and people are losing money, and, but I think that's when when everyone talks about patience, just hold, like, these are the times where we're being tested, and it's really hard, and it can feel very defeating, psychologically, mentally, your energy, emotionally, but, um, it's okay. Like, I feel like it's gonna be okay, like, people just you gotta hold in those moments. I don't know, how do you feel about it? It's just been weird. It's the first time actually, because I've only been here 2 years, that I've experienced that, where I could, like, get on X and actually feel the energy or, like, why is the chat so quiet? Like, I go into these projects and it's just kinda like crickets, right? Like, everyone's
Yeah.
just kinda like, you feel it even though and it's just words on a screen, right? But you can feel that energy. Have you been through something like that before? Like, because I haven't. So it was interesting to see because it's like, what do you say or how do you react? You know, or because people
Yeah.
are losing a lot of money the last few weeks. It's been rough, right?
Yeah. So there's and I forget which one this was in. This might have one of the Marvel movies where Loki is talking to someone. I think he's talking to one of the Thanos's cabal, and he's like, "Oh, I hear you're attacking Earth. I have some experience in that arena." And the person says, like, "If you consider losing, experience." And Loki says, "Well, I consider experience." In 2017, I started in high risk lending, where I just give out money to business owners, and their credit was like shot. Like they had to go through me because they couldn't get money at banks. So I would
Can
because
I
they didn't
ask
qualify.
how do you do that? Like, so would they have any collateral if, say, their credit score is shot or they
Um,
don't
I
have good
mean,
credit and they're gonna borrow from you, would
yeah. So
you
this is where it gets why banks won't touch it. Because like if let's say if I give Mr. Tiger Duck over here, 20,000, and then Mr. Tiger Duck says is like, hey, I got robbed or someone like shot up my truck. Let's say he's a truck driver, and be like, so the due diligence that I do is I'll say like, okay, how much money are they making each month? Do they have money in their account always, or are they typically negative? And what are the uses of this money? Like, if they take this money, can they make money with it? Because if they're just like shining the knobs on the Titanic and they're like, hey, I'm behind on bills, I need to do this. Like, our interest rate is like 24.5% or 24.99%, and because like
okay.
anything above that is like usury charges. Um, so they can't just like they can't take it just to like pay bills and like catch up.
Mhm.
They have to make money with it. So if a truck driver has like a fleet of 3 trucks and they're looking for like a fourth truck because they have this driver, or if it's a restaurant that says like, hey, we're expanding, like whatever it is, if they can make money with the money, and we agree on like a term, you borrow X and you pay back Y. What we would have them do is we would have them sign what's called a COJ, or certificate of, I'm sorry, a confession of judgment, where if they default on the loan, then we can go after them like personally. Because you could just like sign over the business, you do whatever. But the confession of
Mhm.
judgment is just like, hey, this is like, we will garnish wages, we will shut down bank accounts, we'll like do anything in our power to just to like put the screws to you. Um,
Yeah.
and and that's mostly just a formality because most people are generally good, and
Okay.
they want to pay back loans, and we tell them, like, listen, if you're good on your payments and we see that you're making money and you have another opportunity to expand again, or do whatever, like, we'll do another loan at a better rate. And there's sometimes where people got like not free money, but like heavily discounted stuff. And some people that don't, like, you have like construction companies or contractors that are like, they finish their job, and they don't get paid until like 30, 60, or 90 days after the job is done. So what they do is, with their remaining capital, they use that to pay their workers for the next job. They take out credit cards at like Lowe's or Home Depot to get materials for that next job, and that's it. And then the banks say, like, hey,
Mhm.
you're over leveraged, you have like no money, and your credit is like your credit's too low because you're maxed out on these credit cards. But these banks aren't looking at the, like the 200,000 that they're owed in, from the last job. So they just need a bridge loan. And it's like, hey, here's what it would be like for the year, and they pay off in 3 months. And most banks, if you pay off early, they give you like a penalty. But for us, we're like, no, if you pay off early, we'll give you a discount. So there'd be a lot of times where we'd get like 15 or like 17% in just like a couple months. Uh,
Mhm.
so
Nice.
that's how we would. I feel like I went
Okay.
I-
No,
way
no, no,
beyond
I
that
but I was
question.
curious how you structured it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I
So anyway, in 2020, um, pandemic hit, and the all of these business owners are like, hey, listen, Chavez, I get it. I took money from you, but the government is literally telling me I'll be put in jail if I like work or do this business, or like they're letting me operate at 25% capacity. I can like pay my bills, and like make sure my kids get fed, and like make sure my house doesn't get taken away, or I can pay you back. And it's like, what the fuck are you asking from me? And I'm like, you're right. So I lost a couple $100,000 in 2020. And also, like 3 weeks before the pandemic hit, I put like another 30-ish thousand into the Pokemon business. So I opened up another business like just before the shutdown. And I was like, man, I am booked 6 ways to Sunday. Um, and I actually just came up in my Snapchat memories that I was like, dude, I was like devastated. That was probably as close to suicide as I ever got.
Oh,
Because like
goodness.
after losing X amount of money and then putting like my remaining money into Pokemon, and then just the whole world shutting down, and I made too much to qualify for like the twelve hundred
PPE?
dollar checks, which wouldn't have even
Okay.
mattered. Um, so yeah, that was heavy drinking. So, and I've been economically punched in, like I've been economically shot before.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so anything that comes from like small short term volatility, like I know is going to be okay. Because either it goes to zero, or it's just temporary, and eventually you'll have that recovery. Um, and the odds of crypto or a lot of the stuff going to zero is probably pretty low. Like much less than 1%. Like probably less than 1/10 of 1% chance of like crypto just being, especially now the government's involved,
Yeah.
or governments of the world are involved. So short-term volatility, I get it. Putting in 10 or 20K into a project, as long as it's good, um, get it cut in half. It happens. But obviously, that risk becomes much greater if you're into like meme coins, where the people aren't doxxed, and like you're kind of really putting a lot of faith in there, which is
Mhm.
what we're getting to the bottom of starting on Monday. Do you want to
Yeah.
tell us about what we're doing with this big announcement on Monday?
Oh, I do. So, do 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 do. So I had Randy on the hot seat, not this last Monday, the Monday before. I missed this Monday because we had some IRL appointments, but Randy and I got to chatting, and we're here to announce that starting Monday, we will be partnering together, Sharby and the real Randy Chavez, and we will have what's called the last seat. And what's really exciting about this Sharby had the hot seat. We would bring on 3 projects. Really, it took a lot of time vetting them out, right? Like, we just didn't let any project just come onto the hot seat, right? And so, for me, when Randy and I started chatting, I was like, I love doing this with you. I've been on his YouTube. We did like a show on a Friday night. We just, balance each other pretty well. So we came up with the last seat, and this is going to be like for the real ones. And we're just going to host one project every Monday. It will be still at 12 p.m. EST. It will, and yeah, we'll stream it to YouTube. We'll stream it to X. We'll sit down with a project. And it doesn't have to be a meme project. We're just going to have lots of awesome guests. And it will get me better at this. And I don't know. I feel like you're kind of a mentor, Randy. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's great for you. It's great for Sharby. It's great for me. And for everyone viewing, right? Like, we want to bring you some legit people, some great projects, builders, devs, artists. Kind of like, it's going to be a mixed bag, but it's going to be good. And we'll just have a good time for an hour every Monday. And so we're super excited. We kick it off. We haven't announced the project yet, but it will kick off this coming Monday at 12 p.m. EST. So whoop, whoop.
Yeah. There's
We said, let's get together Friday. Let's get together Friday. And I was like, yes. And we can announce it. And, consistency is important. You're really good at it, Randy. I personally juggle so many things, but I missed Monday only for an IRL appointment. But I like the feeling of consistency and having that connection with our viewers and our communities and our people, and just spreading the word, even for the newcomer, right? So it should be exciting. I'm really excited to do this.
Same. So obviously there's multiple ways, or there's multiple benefits of this. You have the person that's representing the community or project that'll come on. They'll get exposure from our audiences, and then we kind of also determine. I feel like, hey, ask questions that investors would likely want to know about it. Determine kind of the long-term projects of it, but then also it's a great way for their audience will be watching as well. They'll get to learn about Sharby. They'll get to learn about daCAT, how we're going to be in a VV comic later this year. And I think that at some point, so you'll get that cross-pollination of viewers, and you'll get we'll get that every week. But also there was a space this last, I guess it happens every Wednesday. Somebody mentioned it to me like 20 minutes before it ended, and like, hey, we need someone on VV up in there. And is every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's this space by something Pupils. Oh God, what the heck's the dude's name? His name is Pauly Pupils. They have a show, and it's just the question this week was, where are NFTs going to be in 10 years? And I got a bunch of followers from that because I was speaking on it just specifically about VV and just where the whole space is going. And just to have that space of people sharing alpha, people sharing their experiences, one, you learn a lot, but then also you can get, and this is going to, I think, work well for us. We're likely going to interview some people that, some will just stay in their own lane, work on their own project, but we'll probably have others that we could kind of, I don't know, maybe like merge with, or we could have others that could help us out in any one way, whether meeting devs, artists, people that can help build up Sharby or help build up daCAT. And then for daCAT, maybe they would potentially pay to be in the comic. I don't know. I mean, the first one's already pretty much done, which you'll be in, obviously. Well, Sharby will be in, I should say.
Sharby, yes.
I guess if we ever do like some type of, you could do the voice acting for Sharby's friend. We'll keep the name secret for right now. But that would be cool. That'd be fun.
That would be cool. That would be fun. But this, when we started chatting about this, that really is since I've been in Sharby, right? Like that grassroots marketing, Sharby's a project with zero marketing. I mean, we have a treasury, we have a DAO, but we don't have like a marketing wallet, right? And I think with Sharby.fun that will help alleviate. But everything really is absorbed by our DAO and like our giving, holders and investors. That being said, this is the and why I've really am striving to be consistent on these spaces and like taking opportunities like today with you even or chances that bring exposure to multiple projects because I've met so like that networking piece. I feel like it's taken me 2 years, but I've now met so many awesome people. And how the Dream Factory was how we came up with the Sharby Dream Factory, right? Because it was like we've been burnt by lots of people, but we've also met some really great people. And when you network and connect instead of competing with each other, which has been the sentiment, and these projects have been shouting this out for like the last year, I feel is that like we can all win because there's room for all of us, right? There's so much space here, and that if you can use, even if it's human capital, right? Even if it's okay, this person, Randy, and I met him in daCAT, but he also has this with this, and yes, like this is how we grow, this is how we network, and it's going to help your project, it's going to help their project, it's going to help the space. Especially if they're legitimate players and they're people that are trying to create value. And you know, of course, we're all here to win on the investment side and to grow, but at the same time, like I feel like it contributes to weeding out the bad actors. There's always going to be they're always going to be there because they're everywhere. They're in real life, they're in social media, they're in crypto, they're everywhere. But if we can do that and that support and just that networking piece where the winners and the good attract the good, and it collectively it brings up the whole space. Because I mean, I think for Sharby it's just been like 2 years of grinding and grinding and grinding and helping and supporting and continuously adding value. Because and that's when we just talked a few minutes about the chart, like 2025 has been great for Sharby. We'll have our days and like on our Solana chart, Solana, but base is just like we're just standing, we're strong. And I think that is a testament to all of those things I'm kind of mentioning, right? And just continuously putting in the footwork um to get where to just keep going. I don't think there is anywhere we're trying to get to other than just keep going forward and doing better. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
okay. I went off on a tangent, but yeah,
yeah,
like
great. I love that.
it is important to be to connect with people. Like you can be like you just said about Twitter posts or like 18 minutes and that's old news, and it's like that. If I step away for a day, 24 hours, I feel so disconnected. I'm like so much has happened. Do I know anyone still? Like, oh, I need to, go into my communities. It's crazy like how much can it happen every it moves so quickly. And when you are, even if you just commit to like say one spaces a week for your project, or if anyone out here like just one a week or being consistent in one thing, it's gonna you'll see the benefits of it, I think.
Yeah.
And you just feel connected, and then you feel more passionate about your place in your project or your team. Like it's all positive, I think. So I'm excited for the last seat, needless to
Ag-
say.
Agreed. And I think this obviously there's shows everywhere, but I do feel like a lot of, and I don't feel like I know it, like a lot of the space is dominated mostly by men, and to have um I feel like there's a decent amount of women that come in and they'll either get intimidated or they might feel like with a bunch of guys talking, oh, they're like mansplaining everything. But
Mhm.
obviously having with the co-host be a woman, they're like, oh, okay. It's not just going to be these men kind of swinging their things around and have like pissing contests. It's going to be like a legit. They're going to have actual questions, and I feel like you can help me not go too far off the rails. We'll get a decent amount of women that will feel comfortable. Oh, the post woman. Okay, it's
Yes,
not going to be
yes.
this boys club.
Yeah, no, that and it's I would say, like, in the last year too, like, when I jump around and, like, get on, listen to some spaces, sometimes I join spaces just to, like, listen. I like listening to them. I'll be doing some work and, put on a space and listen and just hear what people have to say, and I definitely feel like the last 6 months to a year, a lot of more women, I'm hearing them come up and speak, and I've said this before when I've spoken spaces or on podcasts, like, I I couldn't do it for a long time, and I remember the first spaces I spoke on, and I don't remember it, like, afterward I didn't remember it, but I did it. I was so nervous, but I even when I joined Telegram the first time, like, there it was a lot of men in the Sharby chat, and I was like I remember I'd just share, like, a GIF or, like, an emoji because I was nervous to say something, right? And in time, I got obviously, it's taken time, but you come to realize, like, it's okay, like, it doesn't even matter, just do it, right? Just do it because like today with you, I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of nervous for today." I haven't done like an off the cuff, like something where I like, okay, this is what we're talking about, right? And Randy like takes me out of my box and out of my comfort zone. He's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna talk about crypto and memes and it's all good." And I'm like, okay, but and then I'm like, well, maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I don't have enough to talk about. And all that self doubt, like all those thoughts. And I'm like, just like, whatever, like, I'm just going to wing it. And it's good. Like, and I think that's authentic. And it's okay if I don't know everything about everything, right? Like, we all have value to add. Um, and I think for anyone, because crypto, like how it's been the last few weeks, like the psychological part of it, right? Like I was just like, when I'm reading those chats or when the chats are very quiet and the sentiment is very negative, or you're feeling like, oh man, people are losing so much money. And I'm very like empathetic. And so I'm like absorbing. I felt like I was absorbing it. And so yesterday I was away from the keyboard yesterday. So I was like, oh, I'm like taking all that energy in. And I'm like, okay, I gotta like not do that. Because I only can control what's mine, and if I just have to keep doing my part, um, just so that I feel like I'm not I don't know, I'm going sideways here, but anyway, females, there's been a lot more. It's really exciting, and, I think it's gonna keep growing and growing, and I think what's gonna be really great between you and I is we're very opposite, I think. Like, you have so much knowledge that I don't, or and so this is a good yin and yang because, yeah, I'll keep you, I'll steer you back if I have to,
Yeah,
but you
make me
do
a little
pretty
more
good on
grounded.
your own. You do pretty good on your own.
Thanks,
But
man.
it'll be fun. Will be fun. And I think I'm definitely excited for it, and it gets me more comfortable too, and, like, I would love there was Crypto Queen, there's a few women that really just supported me when I started talking, and they would DM me and be like, "Good job," like they knew. Um, it was so hard just to talk, but, like, sometimes if you just go and listen to spaces, like, we all feel that way. Like, I think everyone does, and so I kinda had to get a case of the F its because I was like, "F it." Like, I mean, what are you gonna do, shame me? Like, I'm just gonna go do it. Um, and I don't know, I guess it also you get more comfortable is, like, that project. If you have we all have passion, right? So if you have that passion for your project, it's, like, easy to talk about you know, um, if you're in it. So that part I feel like I've gotten down, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
had
And I'm excited for more women too. I'm excited.
same. There's I think like 98% of my viewers are male. It was a lot lower in like the last bull market. It was like 89 or 90%, and there was like a good 10% women, and then ripped.
Yeah.
But the um yeah, when I first started YouTube, I didn't even like show my face. I was like talking about these Pokemon cards and like, oh yeah, this card I like for X, Y, and Z, and I did like at the end of the video, I was like sweating. I was like out of breath. I was like,
You didn't breathe through it? Yeah,
yeah.
I was
And
sweating
and
my
then
first time too.
after like a couple weeks, I was like you said, F it. And then they're like, oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. So
Um,
that's where I'm at with the video, right? Okay, so, like, I wanna be on video. I would rather be talking to you, but, like, I just haven't I did your Friday night podcasts on video, right? I think I did. I can't remember. I think I've
I'm
done
not sure.
1. I think I've done 1 or 2. I've gone on video. So, of course, I'm doxxed, like, I'm out there, but, like, and then it gets to that moment, and I'm like, "Oh," but I want to. So, that's my next step, okay? All dolled
Drinking
up needs
helps.
to
I like so in all of my I try not to anymore. Like I used to drink like every night, but now I'll only drink when I have like a bigger like okay, this is probably an important interview. Like I
Uh-huh,
had Biden's former campaign manager on the other day. I was like, okay, I should probably be a little loosey goosey for this,
uh-huh.
um
So, is
and
it,
then
like, just, like, a couple shots, or do you, like,
yeah,
start
like so I still
yeah,
have the cup.
okay,
I put like maybe half ginger ale and half some type of whiskey, and
okay.
um, and then and then I'm good for the
Yeah,
duration of the interview. Um, yeah, I used to do that all the time, but now it's just like okay, whenever because I feel like I get a little dry or a little like a little stiff um, if it's important, and I'm just that
yeah,
I need
yeah,
to be a little loose. Um,
yeah.
so if we
No,
ever have someone like with like a couple million followers, I might be like, all right, yeah,
okay,
it's a good
I'll just grab a glass of wine and we'll be
grab a box of wine, girl. You don't
box
have
of
a
wine,
glass.
bag of wine.
Yeah. So,
Oh
so
gosh.
outside of Sharby,
Mhm.
what other stuff do you have? Because we have some news like from yesterday, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick from Texas saying that Bitcoin's limited supply and decentralized nature makes it a critical asset for Texas's future. So obviously there's this bullish things going on for XRP, Solana. What else do you have outside of Sharby?
Like, that caught my attention, or what are we
Just in your
asking? Like,
portfolio, or are you just like, nah, man, all in on Sharby. A little bit of ETH and Sol for trading fees, but that's it.
I that that is me. Not my husband, but that is me. So, because I mean, I haven't so I feel like, well, it's kind of a blessing and maybe a curse at the same time, because I came in here, like, by default, right? Like, I was not a fan of this whole world, which, of course, I've come to love dearly and I appreciate and I'm excited about and passionate about. That's not how it started, though, and so I had this, like, negative outlook until I came into Sharby, and then I grew very passionate about it, and so that was my introduction to crypto. At the same time, because we had it was a takeover and there was so much work. I think it's hard sometimes because community, I mean, I feel like you have to know, maybe they don't know, like, just the background work that it takes. Like, yeah, if you don't see me in Telegram for, like, 6 hours, but I'm here every day. Like, when I DM people, I'm like, "I'm always here, but I'm working on this or that," or talking to lawyers, or finishing up and negotiating a partnership, or, which Sharby just got finished. We just passed a vote in our DAO yesterday. We will be announcing a new partnership in the coming days, but it takes negotiation to get to that point to put the vote in the DAO, and, like, so it's so much work. And so it's been my time sucker because, like I said, we have 4 kids. Like, my husband does the crypto and an IRL job, and so it's really taken all my time, and that was my drive for part of the drive for the hot seat for me was, 1, to get through my nerves of speaking and talking on the spaces, but 2, like, it's really where I've done some of my research, or I get to hear about a project and then I'll go spend a little time because I don't have a lot of time. Like, and so I kind of feel like I'm in, like, my own little world sometimes because there is all this stuff going on in crypto, and I'm blessed to have a husband that's smart and that analytical brain, and so he'll give me, like, daily updates, right? Like, who
Good.
is this all dolled up in crypto? But that's not my world because I'm so hyper focused on just like supporting Sharby and like yes, I own other projects, but it is like it is my passion and where I'm devoted 100%. And so it's just hard to step outside that and give a lot of energy to other things because I'm just thinking like, okay, how it's I didn't know it would take 2 years. Like in my mind when we came in, I was like, oh, we're gonna make a bunch of money with this token and then we'll just be, you know, on we go. Like, and no, 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 that's not how it
Yeah.
works. It
And
doesn't
now
work
you
like
know
that.
that cycles
Now
exist,
I
and
know. Cycles, yeah, and, like, seasons, I guess, and they're, like, different time. Like, the crypto has I'm just learning this, guys, so don't laugh at me, but, like, they were talking about, the cycles and, like, there's 3 cycles or 2? I don't even know. I was just laughing in chat because I was like, I didn't know. Is it summer? Is it winter? What where are we? Um, but that being said, I, the sentiment, the energy, of course, I pay attention to the news, but, like, I don't know, maybe it sounds naive of me or irresponsible, not too sure, but, like, I'm so, tunnel vision on just, like, what we're doing at Sharby and what we're building, and it takes a lot of time. It's like it's a lot of work, but do I regret any of it? No. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today had Sharby not gone through, she has been in the trenches, right? The last 2 years just grinding through the bear and, um, it takes a lot to get to where we are, and so I'm so excited to see her hard work be rewarded, which I think will definitely happen.
yeah, agreed. There's obviously with the cycles, you have usually like 2.5 years of bear, like 18 months of bull. Yeah, maybe it's more half and half. Um,
Okay.
been in a bear market for quite a while since Russia invaded Ukraine back in early 2022, and it's coming up on like 3 years now. But obviously, you've had Solana did like a 30x before it went down, and Bitcoin went down to from like 14, went up to 108. It's down to like 88 now, but um, alt season hasn't really started yet. When that happens, you might have another, I don't know, like 9 to 12 months, maybe like 6 to 15 if you want to go broader than that. But it's definitely going to be this year where alt season's going to go crazy. Um, Everyone obviously has their price to kind of like walk away. Um, I guess if two things, Sharby goes to the moon, like assuming that alts and Sharby goes to the moon, and it's nuts. Do you continue on with your role at Sharby and you say like, hey, we're going to use these funds, we're going to save a bunch of them, and we are going to build in the next bear market, and then continue this in the next bull, and do this for another 4 years? Or do you guys say like, hey guys, we did it, we're at like a however many, hundreds of millions of dollars market cap,
Gazillion.
and then you just say like, we're
Mm,
our
I
time has been great, and we have to walk away because we are so tired, and we are so.
So I think it takes this hard work to get to where we want to be, right? So we want to see like our first stop or our goal or I guess our like my sights are set on 100 million market cap. That would be wonderful. Does that mean oh bye guys, peace out. Like I'm off to Sharby Island. No, and we talk about this in our DAO and we uh in our chat because we're building like Sharby's whole thing is to build something that is sustainable. I don't think crypto's going anywhere like with what's happening, right? And so it's like building a company. So when I say like in the background, we run it like a business. We have scrum meetings, we have like assigned tasks and roles, and this person does this and this person does this. And like even though those people aren't like maybe in Telegram every day or posting on X, there's so much work being done on a daily basis in the background, just like the developments for Sharby.fun, right? Like this is like okay, we're having to test, we're having to look at the like just the UI. It's like yesterday was talking about the spacing between the boxes on the UI. Like everything takes time, but it's like building a company. And the model or that business model for Sharby is certainly building something that's sustainable for the long term. So like say we get into those that the profits of platforms like Pump.Fun or the market caps of the Pepes. Like we've built an ecosystem where Sharby is sustainable, that you're going to be making passive income. I don't think I would ever have to sell Sharby if that volume comes and the passive income comes, which I've experienced it when I joined it, right? So when I came into Sharby, it was a 5% tax. So the rewards were in tax structure. When we were hitting 20 million um, market cap on Arbitrum and 20 million market cap on Ethereum, I can tell you that that monthly passive rewards was a lot.
Okay.
So we, like my husband and I, we've already been through where we had life-changing money and we didn't leave, and that's okay. I think about it sometimes like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
if we had sold in May of 23, we would have had like a large amount of money.
Yeah.
But we didn't. And even though our market cap isn't near where it was then, or it's still like, now there's such a passion for it and the brand in general. Like I feel like with Sharby, we're building a brand, something sustainable where, yeah, if we hit the moon, like that's just awesome and we keep going. I do think that we're putting the footwork in right now. So the grinding the last 2 years has been heavy. It's been a lot. It sucks your energy. It sucks your time. Um, but it's worth it because I think once with the business model of Sharby, it will become sustainable to where we might be able to just build, but like there's that flow of money, right? And the passive income that investors are making, that it won't be like it is now. Like with any business, if you start a restaurant, right? You live at the restaurant. Like you have
Yeah.
to live there until you have a customer base and people like your food and it's successful. And then sometimes the owner doesn't have to be at his restaurant 18 hours a day. But the first 3-4 years of owning a restaurant, you basically live there. And so that's kind of how I look at it. Definitely. And being um my first crypto project and me coming from corporate, corporate America, working in construction and real estate and development for 20 years, like I've seen what it takes to um, build up a business or establish something, right? So I guess I have patience in that sense. But crypto's quirky and can be funny, and I don't understand all the people all the time. But I just keep my mind set, like, kind of just I treat it like a business. I do treat it
Yeah.
and my role. Yeah. And
I
also
love.
I like it. Isn't that crazy? Like, you can sit and work on crypto for, like, 15 hours. And then I'm like, and I don't, my salary's 0, just,
Yeah.
like, I
Same.
don't get a paycheck at $0, but, like, it doesn't feel like work. And it's
Yeah.
hard work, but it doesn't feel like it. I think it's kind of like a case study or something, because I can work hundreds of hours a week on this project, and it's rewarding, and I get paid nothing. And of course, the end game, like I think maybe someday, but yeah, it's funny. I enjoy it, and so I think it is a sentiment even in our DAO and some of the most that have been here since day one, that, the long term, this is a long term, like, this isn't just hit the moon and take the moon boots off.
Yeah. I like Sapphiros comments that the goal is the moon, but then you start building on the moon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right?
With the me taking control of the cat IP, um, I'm moving like everything towards it. Where in my free time, or I guess I allocate the time here. I have no free time, but the time is split a lot between editing the first book, which is already written, writing the second, writing scripts for daCAT Chibi, and then also just figuring out what next steps are. So either like sell part of the IP to raise money so we can have the artists do their thing, so that this can finally be on Vivi. Also
Mhm.
doing some type of physical merch at some point, having burns, because like the SEC has dropped all, like they're not going after crypto companies anymore. They've dropped so many. They've dropped so many of their cases. I think almost all of them. And now it seems like, okay, buybacks can be back on the table. We can go and do pretty much whatever we want.
Mhm.
But then also on like the real world side, like after Devi goes up, yeah, a lot of those Devi profits will go into Omi and Definity, but some will go into daCAT. After Omi goes up, a lot of those profits will go into Definity and then daCAT, and then after Definity goes up, like my goal is to get like 10% of the entire supply, and then also in real life, my goal was to by 2030 have 90% of my net worth go into buying land in Madagascar and trying to help save these like endangered species that live there. And the if I were able to put that under the daCAT name, like
Mhm.
just have it as like, instead of have Chavez Charities, make it like daCAT whatever, and then kind of set up daCAT as a basically as like a nonprofit, and then allow the profits go to either expanding the company or burning, and then this way we have buybacks, burns, giveaway. Like I don't know, like all these ideas in my mind. I don't know how many of them are able to work, but um, yeah, I get what you mean when you say like, hey, working all of this, and again, I take no salary. Um,
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll
Maybe
see.
one day.
Yeah, we got to get a lot of revenues though, because then obviously you wanna go in and pay like the artists. You want to go in and pay other people. But yeah, what one day I think a salary would be nice for daCAT. But that's the beauty of being in crypto, where the gains are very very plentiful.
Mhm.
Stuff can go. I mean, stuff can go 100x in no time. And
Moments, yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
when we go and do that, hopefully we'll be able to put more money to our respective projects. And then honestly, when as our stuff gets bigger, like right now we're just we'll have guests on, when they come on, but there will probably be people, and I've got this before, and you probably gotten it as well. That they'll say like, "Hey, can I come on your podcast?" And then they'll like pay to be like in the last seat, just because they'll get exposure. Because oh, if
Mhm.
the head of daCAT and the head of Sharby are doing a space, that'll be great
Mm.
publicity, and they'll come to pay on it. We haven't talked about that yet, but I guess we can right
No,
now.
right
That's
meow.
so that is
Woof.
something that'll happen. Um, the time right now, we're obviously focused on 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday.
Mhm.
Um, is that something that you think could possibly be malleable? Like if somebody says like, "Hey, we'll give you guys like, 2 grand to do, or like X amount of money to do this interview, but we have to do it on like a Tuesday night or like a Thursday morning." Is that like okay?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we're
Duh.
making money, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like 2 AM? What? I'll be there.
I did that for Epico once. This dude is in like India, and he's just like, "Can we have it at this time?" I was like, "Bro, that's like 4 in the morning." And he's just like, "But in my time, it's not." I was like, "Well, you're paying.
You're
Okay, you're
right.
paying
You're
me, so
right.
yeah, let's get this bread."
I know.
Um,
And it's funny because I still like I'll be talking in DM like to a raider and I have some in Turkey and some like in UTC +1 and I'm always just like I'm talking to so many people in so many different time zones. I'm like, "What time is it where you are?" Like, just tell me, but hey, like, you know, I've done calls, I had to do a call the other day with one of our team, and it was what, 1 AM here, and I was on it till almost 3, and I was just like, it is what it is, like, you just gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, I'm definitely open, like, and as we grow the last seat, get some real ones on there. It's going to be exciting because I do think like I would love to have them come to us and be able to be a platform for those to share and be flexible with the time. And I definitely think I'll be open to that for sure. Make it work.
Yeah, same.
Make it
There's
work.
a yeah, I feel like when money gets involved and things get exciting and we become a little more flexible, like, yeah, we could do that. We could.
Yeah. No
um,
problem.
I had a meeting the other day with one of the guys from Chaos on the Chains. They'll be on the comic book as well. They're going to Dubai. It's called Token 2049. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. Yeah.
So I guess the Token 2049 is like all over, but they'll be in Dubai, and that's in late April, so it's next month. And I'm trying to see if I'll have to ask like Vivi, like, hey, can you like pay me to go out there, and then I'll help set up a booth, and I'll try to do it like with Chaos on the Chains, so that this way we can like split the costs and stuff. And then when we do
That would
that,
be cool.
and then obviously when we're out there, Chaos on the Chains will represent, or they'll talk about like VV and daCAT anyway. I could just give him a list because they'll be in the comic that'll be on
Mhm.
VV. So I could just give him a list, like, hey, here's the characters that are public right now, and then I'll see if we can send him some artwork of Sharby or some stuff, and then this way, oh, hey, I didn't know they were in this as
Yes.
well. I think that'd be cool. So,
That's super cool.
but
And there's
yeah, I was on
also
his faces, and then there's like 2:22 in the morning, and I was like, yeah, I got a meeting in 5 minutes. I gotta go. I'm like, bro, it's like what 2:30? Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I think there's also a conference, in Amsterdam. Is it this week or next? There's a big one. Um, I can't remember the date, but that token so the Token 40, is it a conference or is it like, they have multiple places they go set up and, like, all happening simultaneously?
It's so this conference is in Dubai from Wednesday, April 30th to Saturday, May 3rd. But then they have one in Hong Kong. They have like, so Token 2049 is like all over the place,
2049.
obviously at different
Okay.
times. Um, and then people just go in, they set up booths there and all that jazz.
Okay. My next one is in Miami in November for blockchain. Um, that's the
For
next
what's it called?
the Blockchain Futurist Conference. It's usually held in Toronto, so they call it like ETH Toronto. I
But now
attended
it's being in Miami.
It's Miami and Toronto this year. So Toronto is coming up here. What's the date? So Toronto is May 13th. And it's basically like Canada's largest Web3 event, but they have now opened up. They will be in Miami, Florida, November 5th and 6th. So we can't make Toronto this year, but we will be in Miami in November.
You said November 5th and 6th.
Mhm.
What's it called? Blockchain
Wednesday.
what?
It's the Blockchain Futurist Conference.
Okay.
It's great. It's a good time. It's a great conference. And yeah, we did Toronto this last year, which was great. And I wish we could have made this year work, but we have weddings to attend to in May.
Gotcha.
So but November 7th is my birthday. So
Oh,
like
nice.
we can just go to Miami. I think it's Wednesday, Thursday, November 5th and 6th. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And which is fine. I don't have any. I really don't have anything that week, so maybe I'll go. I
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Let's
Veterans
do
Day
it.
the week after, and then Stranger Things season 5 comes out on Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna tell each of my friend groups, "Oh, I'm gonna go this place this year," and then I'm just gonna sit at home and watch Stranger Things all day.
Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh, they're like hecking us though because it's coming out in like 2 parts. So one part will be on one day, and another part will be on like another day, like months later. Yeah. So Stranger Things season 5 part 1 is going to be on October 10th, which is the same week as New York Comic Con, and I'm pissed. And then the other part 2, where they come out with the second half of the season, will be on November 27th. which is
Okay, wait, so is it October 10th and like a 2-hour like part 1, or is it gonna be a show every week till
no,
November?
it'll be so like the same way Cobra Kai got split up into like 3 parts where they did like 3
Okay.
episodes. Like they'll do like 4 episodes or 5 episodes on the 10th and then like 4 or 5 episodes on the 27th. And I hopefully that's it. And we don't have to wait forever. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that would be fun if you could make Miami work and we could do something live
Yeah, I
too.
love Miami. Oh yeah,
I've
that'd be
never
cool.
been, I've never been, I've never been.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're
No.
do you want to tell where you live or not?
No, yeah, I live in Texas, but we
Yeah.
moved from California in 21 to Texas, and so but I've been to Tennessee. I think that's, like, the furthest east I've gone is Tennessee.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Miami's fun as heck. That's a
I've been
lot
to New Orleans. That was fun as heck, what I recall.
of Did you go for Mardi Gras?
We went for my husband's 40th birthday. You know, that was a good enough reason, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Whenever
Yeah.
I think of New Orleans, or whenever I think of Louisiana, I think you ever see Scooby Doo on Zombie Island?
No.
Oh my god, that's like the best Scooby Doo movie out there. It's so freaking good.
I'm
Um,
taking notes, I'm taking notes.
so they, yeah, like I feel like your kids would like this too because it's genuinely a good movie. Um, it is about them going. They were like the gang was like apart for a while, and then they come back together, and then they come back together like for this thing that's going on out right off the coast of Louisiana. And the monsters are real this time. It's so good. So whenever I think of Louisiana, I think of I guess New Orleans, I guess Abbeville because I've been down there a couple times, and then um, Louisiana and their peppers, and you'll get that reference after you watch the movie.
Watch. Wait, it's Scooby-Doo Zombie Island?
Scooby Doo on Zombie Island.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't joking about the notes.
I I watch that pretty much every year, sometimes twice a year. Um, yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah. Anytime someone's like, "Oh, I'm bored," yo, you want to watch Scooby Doo on Zombie Island? Yeah,
My 13-year-old, I'm gonna have him watch it with me. He'll like it. He's funny, and when you were talking about Pokemon, my 13-year-old is I don't know, we have more Pokemon cards than I can deal with, but I respect his obsession because he has them all in, like, binders with sleeves. Oh, okay. I'm taking a picture. I
oh,
gotta show Rogue. So Rogue, he, so right now, he wanted me to take him to, like he laid out, like, 6 different stores because and I don't know if this is, like, a TikTok thing, but, like, people are going and hiding the Pokemon cards, like, under the shopping displays. So, like, they'll take the box and they'll, like, hide it under, like, the aisle, like,
yeah.
the white racks. So he's like so I take him he had, like, 3 Targets to go to. I take him, he begged me and he's, like, lifting up the things in the aisle, and I'm like, "Rogue," he's like, "People are hiding Pokemon under here," but everywhere's sold out, and it's funny because I said, like, 6 months ago, Rogue, we would come here, and there was a bunch of Pokemon, and he said, "I know, like, right now, everyone's going and they're buying everything off the shelves," so the poor kid, um, we were defeated at 3 stores. He didn't find
Yeah.
1 pack. But he's very obsessed with his Pokemon and he can name them all. We were at dinner the other night and he started naming them and I should have recorded it because I'm like, "What?" But
Impressive.
I think he
I
did
mean,
100. He did 100.
okay, I would say it was one thing
Yeah,
when we had like 151 or 250, but yeah, have
I think he did
memorizing them
100.
all
He I
now is
mean, he
hard.
knows yeah, but he can spat out 100 quickly, and we were like, "Wow, that's impressive." But yes, the Pokemon obsession is there, and he bought a DS3? I don't know.
3DS.
3DS?
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
y he'd been saving, but he wanted to play this Pokemon game. So he
Wait, which
researched
one?
and
The Rumble?
it's winter.
Because the one on the because there's a bunch of games on the 3DS that are not available on the Switch. So I
Okay, that's
understand
why he
wanting to
wanted it, because he has the Switch and he wanted to get
yeah.
the 3DS to play a certain game, but we found one on Marketplace and it came with the game. So he was super excited. It's like yellow, I think, a little yellow game. Can't remember.
I'm
Sorry, I'm
curious on
terrible.
what the game is called
Mm,
because
well, I'm just gonna pause you for a second because I have it right here. Hold on.
okay. Hang on. I mean, outside of the main games, I'm guessing there's Mystery Dungeon, there's Pokemon Rumble Blast. I mean, I guess Omega. I guess the main series you have Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Um, I don't know if Black and White 2 were on there. There was Sun and Moon. Yeah, just let me know when you got it. Because I am curious. Yo, what up, zombie? How's it going, fam? Meow, meow, meow. Throw me something, mister. Oh, God. I'm way behind on
I'm
comments.
back. I'm
Oh, hey,
back.
what was it?
Okay, wait. I had to go get it. It's Sun.
Oh, okay. Pokemon Sun. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So he found it on Marketplace and it came with the game, which was the game he wanted. And so when he turned on the 3DS, the person that had owned it before had played like 120 hours and they had
Yeah.
beat it and they had gotten, so we did like a 1-minute video. He had me record him because we cleared it. They had gotten they had passed all the levels and he's like, okay, we're going to clear it. And so we did a video to delete all the data and he
Yeah.
started over. So he's been hooked on that. He's having a good time. But
Do you
yeah.
know what his starter was? For that game, mine was Litten. You might not know the name, but did he pick the bird, the cat, or the seal? Or do you know if he picked the water, grass, or fire starter?
I don't know, but
Okay.
I'll let you know.
I feel like Poplio was a lot of people's favorite. Oh god.
Bless you.
Poplio was a lot of people's favorite starter. I picked Litten. So badass. And then Rowlet was just like the biggest meme for a while because it's just like this small 1 pound owl, and it's just pathetic looking. Litten just is so badass though. Evolves into this giant like dark fire cat, and oh god, it's epic. Anyway, yeah, great game.
Yeah, he's having a good time with it. So,
We get along.
but I'm gonna have him. We'll do some Scooby Doo Zombie Island. I think he'll.
Sweet. Yeah.
I don't know. He's maybe seen it. He's maybe seen it. I'll have to ask him. But
It's good with stuffed crust pizza and some not your father's root beer. Don't give that to the kid though, because that's alcohol. But uh, that's what I like to eat and drink while watching it.
oh my gosh. Yeah. Good times.
My
Okay.
It's my goal. Maybe I'll do that tonight. I don't know. But yeah, let's end it here and then talk off camera for a bit if you have a few minutes.
Yeah, I do. It's been awesome. Excited for Monday. The last seat
And
premieres.
then we're going to announce Monday's guest on
Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday we'll do a post on Sunday. I just want to triple confirm and yeah, we can talk offline, but I think we should be good to go. It'll be a good time.
All right, cool beans. This is a
Yeah.
great intro for today. Everyone
Yeah.
say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you.
Can you tell any of the Sharby viewers, maybe some of the daCAT family and BB family knows, but tell us about who's in the background.
Oh, yes.
Dasher? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Dashi is a funny story
Dashi.
how this came together. My friend Lilith was visiting America in 2017. She's from Austria, and I take her to New York City, and she wants to look in like this place where everything is like $30,000. And I was like, Lilith, we can like go in and like look, but we can't like sneeze. You can't like break any like we can't touch anything. And she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. There's stuff like this in Austria as well. I was like, okay, all right, at least you know. She was really young at the time. I think she was like 19. I was like, I don't know how wild she's gonna be, but no, it was good. We get to this place where there's 3 dogs. One's like Dashi, one's like a and there's 2 others that kind of look like it. And what this place did was they basically do storage wars, but for like large estates, where they go in and they after someone passes away and they have no family, they buy an estate and then they take their stuff and then they sell their stuff. And this guy was like, hey, how yeah, and this dog was like the cheapest thing there at like I think it was at like 12.5
Okay.
was the price. And it was like, you like for you, we go in and we give to you for 10,000. And I was like, sir, I don't know if I'd be able to like I was so 2017, I had like just gotten a big boy job. It's my first year out of the military and I just started making some money, but I was like, listen, I have this new business and everything's going there. And he gets down to like $4,000 like really quickly. And I was like, is this dog like wanted? Like, is this what's going on? And he's just like, listen, we didn't want to break up the set, but somebody wanted this one dog. We had to sell it to him, so we did. $12,000 is $12,000. Now this, is incomplete set. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get that, but still, you went to like you dropped like 80% like
For
really
real
quickly.
quick. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, also, we need to move product. We have 2 other storage units and they are full, and we just bought another estate. And I was like, okay. And I get them for like $2,200 with tax and shipping included. And I was like, okay, done.
Ooh.
And then I took his card and I was like, you know what? After X amount of time, I'll grab the others. And he's like, okay. And then the pandemic, they shut down, and I have no idea where the other dogs are. So I'm at rip.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, so that's the story of Dashi and how I got him, and getting him here to Ohio was a mess because you couldn't ship him. They only went and insured him, I think, for like if I were to ship him, they would only insure him up to like 20,000, and it would have cost like a couple thousand
To
to
ship.
ship it. So I was on the phone with this dude at American Airlines for like 45 minutes. We're going through their technical orders, the TO, and trying to see if Dashi can fly. And basically he says, listen, if like the plane goes down or like there's something that happens with the plane, we can't have this dog become like a projectile and like take off someone's head. So you have to be able to clip the seatbelt around this dog statue. And if you can, he can fly, and that's fine. And I was like, okay, cool. So, but Dashi weighs like 60 pounds. So
Okay.
I have to like essentially deadlift him and waddle like because when you're in an airport, you don't just walk to your destination. You're on all these lines, and
Yeah.
whenever people move, you move like 2 feet at a time. So I consistently have to deadlift, waddle a couple feet, put him down, um,
That
and
would have
then
gone
everyone started
viral.
taking pictures.
Yeah,
Uh,
that would have gone viral.
yeah,
You with
so
Dashy in the airport.
Dashi wouldn't fit in the X-ray machine, so they had to put like a giant colonoscopy like butt plug in Dashi to make sure I wasn't smuggling drugs because I guess I look like that. And and then yeah, they afterwards like, everyone was taking pictures, and I was like, I guess that's cool. Um, so yeah, that was the story of getting Dashi. Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, now I know. Now I know. And Dashy's brothers or sisters are out there somewhere. So if you
so
happen to see this and you recognize Dashy,
if you got him from
please reach
Lloyd's,
out to Randy.
yeah, reach out. Real Randy Chavez at real Randy Chavez in like multiple places. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All
Awesome.
right. Shout out
Okay.
to the people that are here, and let's talk off camera. Goodbye,
Thank
everyone. I
you.
love y'all. Bye.
Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, yeah.